10 Mythical Creatures of Mizoram. It is the name given to a creature that is most likely a jinn or a type of goblin. The exact definition is not clear, since there are not many written accounts of these creatures. Instead of causing harm to humans, they do the opposite, bring them good fortune. These creatures are one-legged, so when they fall down it is extremely difficult for them to get back up. If anyone comes across this creature that has fallen down and helps it up, they are granted a wish. Till date it is still used to describe having immense luck. The exact translation for these creatures vary. Most translate them as fairies, while a few call them demons. The description of a Lasi also differs from story to story. In many legends, these creatures disguise themselves as beautiful women and try to seduce hunters. If a hunter falls in love with a Lasi, the creature guides him in his hunting expeditions, and he would never come home empty-handed from a hunt. The problem is that the hunter can never tell anyone about the Lasi nor be free from it, without ending up dead. Keimi is basically a were-tiger, or a human that can turn itself into a tiger. The literal translation for Keimi is tiger person. Ke stands for tiger, and mi for person. If I have heard correctly, tales about these creatures are also told in other regions of the northeast like Nagaland and Manipur. There is one story involving a Keimi that has stayed with me since childhood. It is the story of a girl named Khawhring, who is practically the Mizo version of Thumalina. Like the fairy tale character, this girl was also born from a thumb. Unlike Thumalina, however, she grows up a normal-sized girl. In fact, she grows up to be the most beautiful maiden in the village, and gets plenty of suitors. Amongst her suitors is a Keimi, who steals Khawhring's footprint and sets it upon the stove. The girl becomes seriously ill because of this, and her father declares that whoever can cure Khawhring will win her hand in marriage. This Keimi then takes the footprint off the stove, curing the girl from her illness, and ends up marrying her. Seems to me like this dude was performing some sort of voodoo on the girl. As the story goes on, two brothers set out on a quest to the village of were-tigers to save her, after her father discovered the true identity of Khawhring's husband. Like the Lasi, the translation for Phung varies. Some would call them ogres, while others again define them as a type of demon. In many stories, the Phung is described as a horrendous humanoid creature with wild hair and pitch black skin. These creatures are found in a lot of Mizo folk tales, such as the story of Cherbura. The story goes that Cherbura tied a makeshift swing outside his farmhouse and would swing there every day. At some point he realizes that a Phung, in this case, it is a Phung Pui Nu, which might refer to a mother Phung, would use his swing as soon as he leaves for home. Cherbura then decides to catch this creature. He pretends to leave home while hiding, and waiting for the Phung Pui Nu to come out. As soon as the creature is convinced Cherbura has gone home, she happily swings on the makeshift swing, singing, "Cherbura is finally gone." Taking his chance, Cherbura manages to jump on the Phung Pui Nu from the back and catches her. Scared out of her wits, the creature tries to strike a deal with him, so he can let her go. Finally, she offers to give him a magical horn that gives out rice from one side and meat from the other when coaxed using a specific chant. This is basically like the cornucopia, or the horn of plenty. These two characters, Cherbura and the Phung Pui Nu, have been mentioned together in a few more stories. In one of them, Cherbura captures the creature's children and roasts them. Wai is a broad term for demons in Mizo folklore. Some claim that the Wai are not demons but evil spirits. There are different types of Wais, mostly named according to the place in which they are found. The Ramhuai is found in the forest, and the literal translation is forest demon, or forest spirit. The Ziah is found in a sort of watering hole, which is again apt in that Ziah refers to a type of watering hole. A Pukwai is found in caves, the term translating to cave demon or cave spirit. Most of these demons are bad, causing sickness and bad luck to humans. The Wai of the banyan tree, for instance, was believed to cause insanity. A watering hole rumored to have a Wai was avoided by the entire village. Whenever our ancestors believed that a Wai was angry with them, they would try to appease it with an animal sacrifice ritual. The sacrifice was performed by the Bolpu or witch doctor. I think this is most likely an angel, maybe a Hopi or a Valkyrie according to a friend, and is portrayed as female. Thon means sky, Shuang means above, and nula means maiden. So, the translation for this creature is a sky maiden or maiden from above the sky. They are defined as beautiful women with long, flowing hair and large, bird-like wings. One of my favorite Mizo folk tales is of a man who chances upon one of these creatures bathing at a watering hole. He captures the creature, whose name was Ziaktu. I think this translates to woman with wings. The man then marries her after he clips her wings and hides them. So maleficent, they end up having 7 sons, the youngest of whom happens to discover his mother's wings tucked away somewhere. The kid asks his mother what the wings were, unknowingly aiding her in her escape. She takes the wings and flies back home to heaven. The father, in grief, decides to crack one of his testicles with a hammer. He was probably trying to emotionally blackmail Ziaktu to come back to Earth. When she does not come back, he then cracks his other testicle, killing himself in the process. Khuavang is another type of demon that is fairly smaller than a human. I personally imagine them as goblins. Some say they perform magic and are largely in control of nature. There are some terms like Khuavang Khao Lei, which means pin drop silence. The literal translation, though, refers to a moment in which the Khuavangs walk amongst us. A common saying from my childhood was that the first person to talk after a pin drop silence gets marked by the Khawhring with a mole. Incidentally, the mole is referred to as Khawhring Chinchia, or marking of a Khawhring in Mizo. This is an interesting character in Mizo folk tales and was not considered so mythical back in the day. A Khawhring can be defined as a type of spirit that enters the person's body causing severe stomach cramps. When the family suspects that the person was possessed, they would ask it to reveal its identity and desires. By speaking through the person, the spirit would reveal the name of a person and demand the sacrifice of a pig or hen. The accused person is then believed to own the spirit, although they would be completely unaware of this. The tragic part of this is that the person ends up being ostracized by the entire community, sometimes even being chased out of the village, along with their whole family. The fact that the accused person is usually a pretty maiden has recently given rise to the suspicion that they were, in fact, victims of jealous rivals or disgruntled suitors. During those days, no one would be willing to marry these girls. It is a spirit associated with a human being that is on the verge of death from illness. To cure the sickness, a volunteer ventures into the forest in an attempt to bring home the spirit. The creepy part is that the Thla Ai follows the volunteer, making strange noises and screams all along the way. If the volunteer turns around even just a little bit, the spirit would fly away. Calling a Thla Ai was a ritual performed until the resent passed. Just like folklore from all parts of the world, the Mizos also have the story giants, or Milian. There is the story of Ziah Vota, who is mostly referred to as a strong man and a giant by some. His name literally translates to someone who can clear 100 ranges of land. It was fabled that he can do this in one day. His wife was able to clear 90 ranges of land in one day. There is a cave called Phung Cave, which is about 75 feet wide, near Phung village. Legend has it that the cave was carved out by Ziah Vota using only his hairpin. According to the stories of his strength, he was clearly capable of doing that. However, his hairpin also had to be humongous since it was used to carve stone. So, he could not have been just a strong man, but a giant.